So my plan was actually to do this is messy a while back, okay? Regarding this couple here, because to me, I feel like he is the messy girl, and we're gonna talk about it. All right, this is Amy and Mozzie. A lot of people may or may not know about them. They had almost 400,000 subscribers over on YouTube, and I think they would do like different pranks on each other's and vlogs or whatnot. You know how they do the couples YouTube or whatever. And I found out about them by way of the blogs, right? So they would do like funny stuff on Instagram or whatever, and that's how I ended up finding out about them. And I always thought that she was very pretty, right? Well, what I learned is that they're no longer a couple, and it got a bit messy. All right, but I feel like it's a lesson learned. Maybe I feel like it's a good lesson in this, right? So we're gonna go ahead and talk about it because Miss Girl actually took to social media, and she put up a post, and it had a lot of text messages. But what I'm gonna do is read the caption to you guys, and then we're gonna get into the text messages of the back and forth between her and him. And then it got even more messy, y'all. And I just didn't have time to put all of this in the video, right? So she ended up going on live like May 1st or something, like somewhere up in there at the beginning of the month. She went live on Instagram, and she just pretty much was kind of in tears about the breakup. People started to slowly see, I guess, that they weren't together and stuff. So they started to hop in her DMs, started to kind of like go off on her for them not being together, which is so weird, you know? So she's like, okay, I done had to block quite a few of y'all. Y'all need to fall the hell back. She didn't really want to go into much detail about what happened with the relationship, right? Or the breakdown of the relationship. Then shortly after that, we see Mozzie. Mozzie then got onto their page they shared together on YouTube, where he tried to give his own thoughts, but he didn't really go into detail. He was more so advocating for people to follow his OnlyFans if you wanted to know the true tea about why they not together. And I said, not you up here, baby, you getting paid right now. The people is sitting here like, go ahead and tell them. And I'm wondering if he did that where he didn't really go into detail yet because he didn't know whether people were going to sign up for the YouTube or not. You know, I mean, I'm sorry, not sign up for the YouTube, but I don't think he knew what was going to happen with the YouTube because maybe so much of what they had going on was so ingrained. So he was trying to push people to the OnlyFans, right? Well, shortly after that, I don't think she really said anything. He ended up doing more than one video, and I don't even know if he did anything on the OnlyFans. And you can see all of this on. She created a new page, and he ended up keeping the old page. Okay, so we'll get to that. So he ended up putting more video on that old page, somewhat talking around why they broke up, but heavily promoting the OnlyFans, wanting people to go there. So it resulted in Amy coming out saying her piece. Now she did do a video on this, but before she did the video, she ended up dropping this message as well as these text messages. And I actually really feel her on why they broke up. You know what I'm saying? But we about to go ahead and let's just get into it. All right. This is the message, and then we'll get into the text messages. Okay. She says, as you'll read these texts, you'll see I told him I'm wishing him the best and never want us to be enemies. I was keeping quiet. I left him 2 weeks ago and was not going to put you all in the unfortunate mix. Basically, she didn't want their business out there in the street. Next thing I know, he was on the internet talking about our breakup for money on OnlyFans. So I guess he did take to the OnlyFans and start talking about the relationship. Girl, I said, listen, a lot of y'all may not be privy to the couple, but just think about, two YouTubers, okay? They've been doing this thing for a long time. They end up breaking up or whatever. I'm starting to like how he was moving made me believe whatever she says about him. I believe it. Okay, let's keep going. All right. So she says he changed the YouTube password to our channel, locked me out of it, and made it his. Now he says on his side that he created the page before he even met her. Right. That's what he said. But then it was weird because in a separate video, he said he created the page for them like a year prior to them starting. So I'm like, well, baby, which one is it? Okay, so somebody lying. All right, he says, but she says, but he can have that channel. I won't even fight for it. God is good and life goes on. I could no longer continue the relationship looking at his 3 baby mamas. Girl, this was the primary thing for me. I really don't even have to get into the messages, but this was the primary thing for me. She says, I could no longer continue the relationship looking at his 3 baby mothers working jobs with 4 of his children while he's bopping around on social media. Chasing a rap career while I continued to lay up with him, praying that he would change and get his priorities in order. I loved his children. I respect the kids' mothers. They all deserve better. And I'm sorry if y'all ever thought I was just living the life while knowing y'all needed support. So this is her talking to the baby mamas. And I must say, A lot of women get in these relationships with these dudes, and I don't see how y'all do it. You know what I'm saying? Where the guy is not an active parent in the children's lives. And if you are over there, and sometimes it make the baby mama, I mean, sorry, not the baby mama, but the significant other look bad, because other people like, girl, why you not encouraging him to see his kids? But sometimes they are. The guy just isn't doing their part. But it's just like, at what point do you move on? You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you can only trust his word so much. I mean, unless you see the true actions of the baby mama, because not all baby mamas are saints. Okay, not all of them are saints, girl. They be out here running amok in the palace and making it very hard for men to see their kids. Okay, so I mean, maybe you may witness it differently, but if you know that he ain't doing his part and you know that the women are not problematic, like, I just never understand how women can sit in that relationship. And she obviously did that for many years, but I appreciate the fact that she came to a place where it's like, it's not clicking, Stephen. This is not something that I want in my future. And a lot of people aren't happy in their relationships, but they like to stick in those relationships and sit in them based on the history and stuff. And I just really commended her for getting to a place at her young age of just being like, you know what, this is not it. And some people also staying in relationships for the benefit, right? Being YouTubers and having contracts on the table and different stuff like that. Okay, having things in the works, you end up just staying with their partner, right? Because it's business or whatnot. But if you ain't happy, then girl, you know what I'm saying? What's the point of that? So I definitely commend her on having an awakening moment and moving the hell on. What else? She says that I loved his children. I respect the kids' mothers. They all deserve better. And I'm sorry if y'all ever thought that I was just living the high life while y'all needed support. She says, I was speaking up for y'all. Most of our arguments were about the kids. I knew my karma would also come. I couldn't hold the poker face another day being so in love. I tried to see through his lows. Now, year 4, I realized God won't bless mess, and I'm attached to the mess, meaning he's a fool. He's the mess that I'm attached to. Let me insert something else. So when I watched his video, he tried to talk about how he first got her on. He said that his sister was selling hair, so he reached out to his sister getting the hair plug. So, and the sister gave him the info. He passed it over to Amy, and because of that, Amy used that to make 10,000 one week or whatever, 20,000 the next week, and it just continued to grow and grow. And then they ended up creating a YouTube channel, right? But it was just interesting because when I listened to his video, he just did a lot of talking about, like, let me see if I can, he said so much, girl. Let me see if I can say this right. Basically, what I got from his video, and y'all can watch it on your own because he didn't really, when it changed their YouTube channel from Amy to Mazi to moving on with Mazi or whatever. He basically just said that when she started to get a coin, things started to change. Like, she started to change herself. Like, when she started to get money, she started to change. And he just felt like he was there to support her the whole time. Like, why she ain't pretty much look out for him. It sounds like, why you ain't throw me a stack or give me these racks or whatever like that. I'm like, sir, excuse me? Like, what was you doing? You the one who said you created the YouTube channel. So if you created the YouTube channel, then why you ain't out there making it do what it's do then? Okay, on your own. It's a lot of people that have couples YouTube channels, and then they also have their separate one, which I would behoove y'all to do. Okay, go ahead and have your separate one so you can continue to build that following up, and you don't have to worry about situations like this when it comes to him trying to change passwords. And y'all should have got a contract on that, because at that point, that's when y'all go into business together. So should we ever break up, put whatever clause in, then this is how things should be handled. And should one operate outside of how things are supposed to be handled, then this is the fine, or these are the repercussions, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But when I was listening to him talk, and it was like, you should have looked out, and he said, or like, why you ain't just, why would you just stay down with the person that you with? It's like, baby, you talk about she changing, but what I'm hearing from you is that you haven't changed. You haven't grown. She's seeing elevation. He's talking about, the cars or something like that, because she had got like cars and everything in her name. I'm talking about like Maseratis, Porsches, like these in her name. And this couple was also featured on Listing Atlanta. If y'all ever saw that show on that I've reviewed, yeah, so this couple was on Listing with Atlanta, and Robin closed on a house with them. Amy goes into her video and talks about how when we saw him signing papers, baby, this man didn't sign nothing. He was signing a blank piece of paper because he didn't have the credit nor the money to get the home. And I'm just sitting over here like, girl, it is giving riding coattail. I'm a little sorry. It is giving it's giving that. It's giving riding coattail. How you ain't got your weight up. And then this is another thing for me. It's the fact that she was in this relationship with you for 4 years. I just commend her so much for just having for knowing her worth, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying, and wanting to get out of this relationship and moving on, because baby, you could do bad all by yourself, for real. You could bet your own credit up by yourself, or whatever the case may be. What else did I want to say? Oh, this was the thing for me, y'all. It's the fact that y'all was together for 4 years and you never saw a point in correcting your credit, getting your credit up to par. So not only is you out here likely not doing what you need to do, allegedly by way of Miss Amy, when it comes to your children, but you also not over here trying to get your credit in alignment. Like, I'm so confused. Like, you weren't evolving how she needed you to evolve. And I think a lot of people just feel like a woman is just supposed to hang on and just continue to wait for you to get your SHI together. And they're not. They're not entitled to that. A lot of choose that. A lot of women choose that because I think they get in this mindset where it's like, well, I've been with him this long, and I feel like it'll be just his luck if we do break up. And then next thing you know, he hit it big. Because nobody wants to be that woman, right? Where you didn't believe in him enough, or you let him go, and then he goes off to just do bigger things without you. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, he could do bigger things with you. Like, why he gotta wait till he not with you no more to do those? Why he ain't? I mean, then go on. All right, if that's just how the cards play, that's just how the cards play. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, girl, let's see what else she got over here in this messy, girl, because this is messy, okay? And so I believe, all right? What else ended up happening? She said, so my blessings would fall short, okay? Because she was attached to the mess, and she felt as though her blessings would fall short. What else she said? She said, this is my first public relationship and public breakup. There is no right or wrong way to do this. So here it is. My truth. I protected him to the point I stopped protecting myself. That is over now. And as I told him weeks ago, I'm still praying for you. And I had to leave my effing best friend over some things that I know he could have changed. The change just didn't come for me, but I still hope it comes for him. I said, girl, you finna win. You finna win because you're not being spiteful. You know what I'm saying? He over there being greasy, talking slick and stuff. Didn't change. And first of all, for me, I just feel like it's the fact that he sat up there and changed the password. I don't give a who created the page first. It's the fact that the page did not pop until y'all did that shit together. So for you to take that page from her and just make it yours, instead of just figuring out a way that y'all are going to move forward and split down the middle or whatever, like, I feel a way about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, that right there was messy as hell. Like, he was wrong for that. But let's get into some of these messages real quick. Once we're done with these messages, we're going to get into this man with these 33 kids and decided that he was going to go to social media to drag the people for dragging him. Okay? So let's check out some of these messages. All right? So Amy is in the blue and he's in the white. She says, every time you put the blunt to your burnt lips, not burnt lips, ma'am. Own it, is what she says. Every time you hand the weed man your money, own that you just took money from a flight to see your kids. Well, she's right. She's right. Own it. Own it. Not you giving more money to the weed man. Well, you could just catch a flight and go see your children. Oh, wow. Not us seeing the children over there on moving on with Mozzie now so you can make a profit off the kids. Help America today. No, not tomorrow, right now. Right now, we need them. Okay, let's keep going. Because she said I had to drop the receipts on your, it's because obviously you have me messed up. Okay. What else she says? She says, you watched multiple, she says you watched multiple people create businesses and change their lives while you got high. I believe in everything. These are the receipts. This is what she's talking about. And that's why it makes so much sense. See, what he tried to say in his video wasn't enough for me. You supposed to stick with the person that you know what I'm saying that was down for you from the beginning and da-da-da. No, I don't. No, I don't. I've grown. My credit score has elevated and so has my mindset. I don't have to stay here. Shame on you for putting all that energy that you say that you had for me and not putting it into yourself. Well, we'll see how you're going to grow. Because if you put all that energy into her like you say that you did, then you should have been able to start your own channel and that shit was going to pop. But see, you knew that. See, that's a belief system within yourself. Okay. You got your own issues within yourself that you got to work on, which makes so much sense as to why she needed to separate from him so that he can work on evolving into who he's supposed to be, because he was leaning back on her. Right. In my opinion, I feel like he was leaning back on her and relying on her for the success. right? And sometimes people get like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I could have been like that at one point with things that I've wanted to create for myself. And I always feel like I had to be attached to other people in order to make that happen, when all the ideas and things, came from me the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And they never matched my energy, but sometimes God will put you in a position where you have no choice but to elevate yourself, period, because they wasn't going to do it, because it was within you all along. Right? So if that's how you feel, sir, then you should be able to make things pop from the bottom, right? But instead, you just, decided to take over the entire page and then want to use the excuse of, oh, I created the page. I don't give a, it don't matter. And it's sad that you put up all these videos about you and Amy before you start doing your own stuff, since you took over the page. And Miss Girl may not have the following just yet, because she put her page up, and I think within 24 hours, 48 hours, she had already got like 45,000 followers or something like that, subscribers. But her video that she posted had over 400,000 views, more than what you've put up. Yikes. Let's keep going, okay? So he ain't had nothing to say, because he knew she had stopped him right in his place. So he decided to just do this and say, okay. She says, I warned you. I wanted us to work so bad. I warned you every year. You took it for granted. So BIT, move on. Oh, girl, not you done call this man a BIT. Now, girl, I know he may not be where you want him to be, but you ain't had to call that man no B. Okay? Him not being where you want him to be is enough for him to feel down about his stuff. You ain't have to call that man no girl. You was wrong for that. Let's keep going. Bro, I cannot sit over here acting like Tiffany from Love and Marriage Huntsville, calling that man a BIT. Let's keep going. She says, I will not marry a man with no money. I will not have a child with a man who has to be reminded to call his children. Send this clip to your people. Send this clip to your people. Do not marry no man. Don't you have no kids by no man that's not over there calling his kids. You better get your man that ain't got none. Okay? But he better be able to FaceTime, call, take a few trips, fly the kids out, do family stuff, really get real. I think a lot of times people don't be real with themselves about what it is they really want and what they really willing to tolerate and not tolerate, and also being real and sticking to the standard that you set for yourself. If this person don't have this and this in order by a certain time, I'm gonna have to switch up on you. Okay? Some things may have to switch up. All right? And then maybe in that moment, you'll know how serious they are about you and themselves by going to get that stuff together. Because I do believe women that got it together, they get tired of dealing with it that don't. Understand. Hear what I say. Okay. But let's keep going. Okay. So she says, you almost got me, but I prayed myself out of this whole month. Let me tell you something. I know somebody that praying. Let me say, I know somebody that girl, because I know I was in a terrible relationship for about 7 years. I like towards the end, I literally had to pray myself out of it. It was so up and down with the relationship. This person had been my best friend since high school. Like, it was so up and down. And I was like, I can't get myself out of this situation. Like, God, you're going to have to do it. And I kid you no lie, I think I prayed that in like September of 2010 or something like that. I think it was 2010, and going into the next year, things started to fickle down. But I wish I would have been a bit more specific about how I would like to see that play out. Because usually when I'm specific with my prayers and I'm like, God, I need you to show me it needs to be like this. That's how I know that it's coming from you, right? I wasn't specific, girl. And I went through a lot of shit that I wish I would, girl. Anyway, that's another story. Let's talk about their story, not mine. All right. So anyway, let's get to the next one. So he asked her, like, where you headed? She said gym and out and about. So it seems like they were trying to maintain some type of friendship with each other. She says, although you think it's normal to go a full week and a half without speaking to your son, it's so awful. Girl, it seems like she is reminding this man every second that he gets, listen, you're not talking to your kids. So don't talk to me if you're not going to talk to them. Right? She says, every man I know says they can't go days without checking in on their son. But you, something different. Literally, it makes my stomach move thinking how you could potentially father a child with me. Girl, it is the awakening, and I'm here for it. Let's keep going. He says, yeah, when you asked what he said, when you asked it made me think, then I totally understand your frustration. I be too busy thinking about myself and own needs that I fall short. I ain't got any excuses. Right. But you over there on y'all YouTube page, okay, over there dragging Okay, you over there on y'all YouTube page talking about this girl and stuff, right? And you try to put the blame on the fact that, oh, well, once she got money, she went Hollywood or whatever the case was, when you knew the whole thing was about you. You know what I'm saying? Not really being there for your kids and not getting certain things in order after 4 years. All right. Let's keep going. She says, but you will blow up my phone. You will check in on a BIT daily, but not your own seed that looks just like you. It'll never sit well with me. Girl, if you do not eat him up, eat him up, Miss Mary Lou. I'm here for it, okay? She says, I appreciate your text. I guess this was another day on May 1st. She says, I appreciate your text. I was very kind, and actually I took a lot of pressure off. It took a lot of pressure off my shoulders. It hurts to visualize us as enemies ever. I won't allow it. That's why I have been so silent. I pray your day was good. So it sounds like with this, I'm seeing May 1st at 9 p.m. The video she did when she went live, I think it was earlier that day, or maybe the day before. So I feel like this could be something that they're talking about, the live that she did when she was kind of crying on IG or whatever. So he says, Amy, I'm begging you not to leave. I'm done smoking and getting my counseling session set up. I already had someone on. He said, I already had someone on it. Don't leave me, please. I love you. I will not let you down. She says, I know everything I asked, how everything, she says, I know everything I asked, know everything I'm ready to do to keep us alive. I know what the past hold. I promise you the future will be nothing of that sort. Happiness, smiles, great convos. The list goes on and on. And you know what else goes on and on? The lies, because that's what it's giving. You saying whatever you can say in this moment to try to get her to stay with you. But the only thing that's going to do that is time and change behavior. Your words obviously mean nothing. And she also said in her video, that's true, when women finally leave, it ain't something they just thought about at that moment. It's something that they have been thinking about for a moment and contemplating and likely praying their way out of. And then they finally get that strength and it's like, I'm good, baby. This was cute. This was cute. Go ahead and exit stage left for me. Go ahead and exit. All right. Let's keep going. He says, I was delusional for giving my all to something that was planning, or I guess he meant to say for someone that was planning for an exit. It's you trying to put it off on her. And then talk about you was giving her your all. Like, that's your problem that you're still missing. You're giving her your all, but what about your children? I can't. She says, you ain't give your all. You were an opportunist that relied on a woman. You are lazy. You've been lazy since the day I met you, a delusional NIGGA. Built every brick with me, ? How? By being next to me while my money purchased everything. Sis is reading. She says, what did you build? What brick? Being on a media app, going viral with still no money to your name? Still missed the point with pride. He says, yeah, we both let pride get in the way. If it's not your way, it's the highway. She said, my way? If it were my way, I'd have a respectable black man in my life that showers me with love. I'd have a black man that leads his family unit. I'd have a sober man, not one who is weak to drugs. I have a leader. I'd have a leader that I can't get enough of touching. Trust me, Pooh, it ain't my way or the highway with you. Let's keep going. So she says it's over. So I don't know what this is. It looks like I'm so glad you're in my life. Maybe this was a card he gave her. It looks like she's giving back the ring. And I don't know what this glass item is that she has sitting out here. But she says, it's over. 4 years of thinking love and life was a game. I hope your prize was worth it. I am selling the house. You have 2 months to figure out where you were moving to. You have 30 days to get the Maserati truck loan in your name. You have 30 days to get car insurance on your truck in your name. And you have 30 days to transfer the cell phone bill into your own name. Okay. He says, wow, I know it hit different on it. It hit different on it, baby. I know it too. So you weren't worried about them bills when she was paying them. And then now you see all these bills from the fall in your motherfucking lap and you're like, wow. Oh, wow. Yes, wow. That's how she was looking when you wasn't over there taking care of your kids, but you was over there blowing down on a little something. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Wow, I was right. Okay. Then she goes on, or he goes on to say, I guess this was a separate time. Feels so good outside. I honestly wish I felt, she says, I honestly wish I felt good, but I'll get there. He says, yeah, even the body heals after a cut. I totally understand. Take a day at a time. My next steps is counseling. I talked to my mom and told her, and she said it also would be a good idea. I'm doing this for me. The talk last night did make me think. It was when you said what you said about my mom and I. So obviously he has issues with his mom or something. She says, I'm always wishing the best for you, hoping you heal and find the better version of yourself, as well as I'm out here alone figuring out my life now, right? So he says, you're not alone. I'll forever be here. I'm about to do this 360 so fast. Girl, you know he lying. I'm about to do this 360 so fast. You ain't finna do. Anyway, he says, when you spin around and see the transition, hope your arms are open to me, because I'm not worried about no effort, about what effort with these hoes. I want my queen. Even if you see the change in counseling, is this still over? Boy, you still missing the point. Your point is still trying to be with her when there are other things that you need to be focused on, that you need to be growing from. So you're missing the point. So it ain't gonna be no 360 because you still missing it. Girl, I can't. Girl, sending this man up the river. Miss Girl moving on with her life, and I'm happy for her. I was gonna play a clip of her video, but I have some other things that I need to get into with you guys, but definitely go check out her channel. I think it's called, God dog it, what is this? Amy's World. That's what it's called, Amy's World. And then you can hear her whole story. She talks about the relationship she has with the baby mamas. She showed the vehicles and stuff. She talks about the house and how he didn't put in on it. She had to put down $200 and some thousand just to even get the house. You know what I'm saying? Just to buy the house, because the house is in her name. Okay, so girl, it was interesting. I just wanted to bring that story to y'all, and I hate that I couldn't bring it to you all sooner. All right, so yes. Let me see real quick what y'all saying before we switch over. Okay. Um, this is too much for me. The dragation is too real. Wasn't it real, girl? She was eating him up in the messages, and I appreciate it. And I could tell that a lot of these green and gray messages were earlier on, whereas some of the blue messages, the blue and gray, seemed like they were later because she had more heat for him. And I know this heat came after he ended up doing that live or going to OnlyFans talking more in depth. And she also kind of touched on that in her video. She was like, y'all, him doing this OnlyFans stuff, she's like, we got to pray for that. It ain't nothing extra more. Like, it's nothing else to it to really tell. He's just trying to, in my opinion, paint her out to be a bad person because she wouldn't just hang on while he wasn't growing. He felt as though she was supposed to just continue to wait until he arrived there. And she could have done that if that's something she wanted to do. But then she also could not have done that. She was actually planning her wedding for them to get married, right? And then she just had a realization like, this just ain't it. And I feel like whatever awakening she was having, she had been having that for a moment. It was just something that it just clicks for you. It just clicks. Like, like, I'm good. I realize I'm gonna be straight without you. Like, it's gonna be okay. Like, I'm good. I'm gonna move on. I wish you well. Okay. Let me see what else y'all are saying. The things she fussed about, I always wondered about why while watching them. I just figured they had it all figured out, and it just looked different to us. Well, some of your thoughts have been, confirmed and answered, I guess you'll say. If you've watched their videos. Because, girl, I was over there watching some, he started rolling my eyes like, baby, I really don't want to say that you're a liar, but this ain't adding up for me, sir. It's not. Also, you have known that she wants to see changes, but now that she's putting in action, you want to change? Boy, bye. Right. Like, now you want to change all of a sudden and then want to talk about a 360 so fast, baby. You could have had longer than that. You could have had longer than that or whatever. You could have had more time than that. All right. Had you started a long time ago. She gave you all the time. And I'm just, proud of her for being able to just be like, you know what, this is not it, Lord. My Lord, this is not it. Okay, so please give me my free, for sure.